Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a book haul. I haven't done a book haul in a while. I don't usually buy too many books, to be honest. At least not like in bulk to where I have like a huge book haul or whatever. I kind of just slowly accumulate books over time, I think. But I did recently reorganize my bookshelves completely, and in doing so, I gathered some books that I didn't want anymore, so I unhauled those. And it was also my birthday this past week, so naturally I dragged my boyfriend to 4 different bookstores and did some book shopping. So I want to start off strong with a book that my boyfriend got me while we were book shopping. He likes to pick out those like historical mass market romances. I love them. I love historical romance, but he likes to pick these out for me without reading anything about it. He just looks at the cover and he's like, that's it, that's the one. He did this before and it ended up being like one of my new all-time favorite book series. So I'd say it's pretty successful. So he got me In the Arms of a Markless by Catherine Ashe. No clue what this is. I read the synopsis. I mean, it sounds fun and interesting and all of those things, but when he's done this in the past, where he gets me these random mass markets, he manages to always get me a book in the middle of a series, and then I have to accumulate, like, the ones that come before it. So I told him, I was like, what if it's, like, not the first in a series? And he's like, let's hope it is. It's not. It's not. Yesterday I looked it up on Goodreads. This is actually book number 3 in the series. So that's great. I have to get book 1 and 2. So that's cool. But I have this. I think it will be cute. Maybe cute's the wrong word. But I think it will be fun, at least. You know, once I get books 1 and 2 and read those first and then get to this one. So, you know, we'll see. I also picked up A Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers. I'm gonna be completely honest, I have read the synopsis for this book about 5 different times, and I keep forgetting it. From what I understand, this is like a kind of unhinged female main character type vibe. I want to say it has something to do with cannibalism. I may be wrong. I mean, it's got a great cover. And it's really short. I didn't expect it to be this short. It seems interesting and a little cray-cray. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one a lot. Then I picked up In the Search of Dracula, The History of Dracula and Vampires. Awesome! I say all the time, I love vampires, I'm obsessed with vampires, so this just seemed appropriate. I do also very much enjoy history, even though I'll probably know most of what's in this book already. I thought it would be cool to have. So I got this one. I am excited to read it. I think it'll be cool. I also picked up Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Yes, I am jumping on the Emily Henry bandwagon hype train shit. Haven't read anything by her. I now own 2 of her books. Here's my problem. I've said this before, but I will keep saying it because I have to find other people that are the same, you know? I love romance, okay? I do really love the romance genre. My favorite type of romance is historical romance. Absolutely adore it. There is something about the contemporary romance genre with like the cartoon covers that just don't typically do it for me. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. But more often than not, they don't. And it's because they're so unbelievably cringy. There's something about these books that are so cringe that I can't get over it. And it's typically always within the dialogue. Like from any of the characters. Literally any of them. It doesn't just have to be the main character and the love interest. It can be the main character and her best friend. I don't care who is talking to who. It's fucking cringy. I don't know if it's because, like, the humor is shitty or what, I don't know, but there's something about it that's just so cringe, and I can't get over it. Like, The Unhoneymooners, I DNF'd halfway through because I couldn't get over how cringy it was. The Hating Game was very cringy. I finished it and I enjoyed it for what it was, but it was so cringy. Love on the Brain, absolutely not. But again, sometimes the books are okay, like The Love Hypothesis. I liked that one. It was a little cringy, but not to the point where I had to DNF the book or I just couldn't stand it anymore. So I'm gonna try her books out. Everybody seems to love them, but time and time again, I have proved to myself that that tends to not matter if everybody loves the book or not, because somehow I don't. I end up not loving the books that everybody else does. And I don't want to say that I'm different, because I'm not. There's a lot of books that a lot of people love that I do too. Okay? I'm not special. But there's a lot of books that a lot of people love that are super hyped that I just don't get the hype for, or I really don't like. So, I don't know. I'm gonna give her a try. I want to love it, okay? I want to love it so bad. I want to get the hype. The next one is kind of a random one. I picked up True Grit by Charles Portis. I was at a used bookstore and I saw this on the table and I said, hey, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna get that. I have never read a Western novel before. I don't think I've really ever watched a Western movie before. Well, I think I have. I've definitely watched like a couple Western films, but I've never read a Western novel. I've never seen True Grit, the movie, either of them, because there's two of them. One from 1969 and one from 2010. But I do remember back in like 2013 or something, I really wanted to watch this movie, and I never did. So, I have the book now. I think it'll be fun. I don't know. It seems like it'd be a pretty quick read. I also picked up Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. I already have this book, but I liked this cover better. I just thought it was a cool, like, copy. I don't know. The copy I have is just a paperback from Penguin. This is, I don't know, a little bit fancier looking, I guess. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll motivate me to pick this book up again, because I was reading it like, oh my god, like 3 years ago at this point, maybe. And I got about halfway through in the audiobook, and then I decided that I wanted to switch to the physical book because I wanted to like annotate and do all those things. But I just never made that switch. I just stopped listening to it. So yeah, I'll probably start over from the beginning because at this point it's been 3 years. I remember a lot of what happened. That kind of shit stays with you in your brain. Like what happened in the first half of this book isn't something that's just going to disappear. I was very much engaged. But I think I would still start over from the beginning anyways, just because I'm sure there's stuff that I didn't retain. So yeah, maybe this will inspire me to actually do that, because I haven't done it yet. So yeah, continuing with the theme of books that I already have that I bought another copy of, I got Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I already have a copy of this, but it's like a cloth-bound version, not the Penguin cloth-bound classics, but it is like a cloth-bound edition, just in general. Saw this one at a used bookstore for like $5, and I picked it up because I would like to reread it and annotate it and do all those things. I like doing that. Whatever, I guess it's the English major in me, I don't know, but I got it. So, and I do honestly just love these Penguin Black editions. Like, they look so good on the shelf. They do. They just look so, I'm looking at them right now. They just look so nice and clean and just, I love them. Next, I have In a Dark, Dark Wood, right? Yeah, In a Dark, Dark Wood by Ruth Ware. I don't read a lot from this genre, like this thriller, mystery genre. I really don't. I enjoy this genre, I just don't read a lot from it. What I have read from the genre, I've enjoyed, but I've seen this author, like, everywhere, and I even had a client at my job give me an entire book recommendation list of just this woman's books. Like, she was like, oh, I'm gonna give you some book recommendations, because she saw me reading a book at work once, and I was like, okay, great, I love book recommendations. And she comes back with a picture of, like, just this woman's books, and I was like, okay, so I guess I need to read something from her, because, hello, she's giving me a picture with just this woman's books on it. Like, come on. So I found it, and I picked it up. I don't know what this one's about, considering one, I didn't look up the synopsis online, and two, publishers have now decided that on paperbacks they don't need summaries anymore. I don't know why we've started doing that. It bothers me so much. Like, when I pick up a book, okay, in a bookstore, and I go to the back to find out what it's about, and all I see is like a review from BuzzFeed and a bunch of random people and like other authors and blurbs, and then I open the back flap and it's blank, and then I open the front flap and it's also blank, I'm like, why would I buy this then? Like, you know what I mean? What if I didn't have a smartphone and couldn't look up the summary? What if I didn't have Wi-Fi in that moment? I could look up the summary. Huh? Maybe this is a pointless argument, but I think I have at least kind of a point. Put the summary back on the book. Like, why is that not there? I don't care what BuzzFeed thinks about this book. I don't care what BuzzFeed thinks about anything, so why would I want it on my book? Like, at least on the hardcover, you can, like, open the front flap or the back flap or something and find the summary. On a paperback, no, you're fucked. You don't get that anymore. You just have to be curious until you read it. Annoying. But yeah, I got this book. Excited to read it. Then I picked up I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. I have seen this book a little bit in the book community sphere or whatever. I haven't seen too much of it, but I have seen that it's really good. I've heard a lot of wonderful things about it. From the little that I've seen of this book, it's all been incredibly positive and praise. So, see, here's a paperback with a synopsis on the back. Why did they decide the other one didn't deserve that? I don't know. I don't know. So all that I know about this book is that I believe, how many? 39 women are imprisoned and they have no recollection or memory of how they got there or why they're there. So I don't really know how this book takes that kind of scenario. I don't know what kind of genre this is really following. I think this is just kind of like literary fiction, even though that sounds like a very thrillery plot point. I don't know. So that sounds very interesting, and I am excited to see how the author takes that. And yeah, again, another short read. So many short, quick reads on here, I think, so that's pretty exciting. This next book I am so excited for. It's Mother Thing by who? Ainsley Hogarth? Hogarth? I don't know, I'm sorry. But I'm excited to read this book. This book, from what I know, is about a woman whose mother-in-law is very, I think, like micromanaging and like controlling and like hates her. And the mother-in-law eventually dies and comes back to haunt the woman, the daughter-in-law, I guess. I love that. Like, I love that plot. That sounds so fun and exciting. I also have another book on my shelf that I'm really excited to read, titled How to Murder Your Mother-in-Law. I'm not trying to say anything here, but I just think that this, like, trope of, like, the crazy mother-in-law or, like, this plot is just so funny to me, and I'm excited to read it. And look at this cover. Isn't this cover stunning? I love it. Look at this. Look at her face. Tell me that's not cool. That's so cool. I'm so excited. I saw this one and I was like, oh my gosh. I completely forgot about this book because I saw this book a while ago and I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds so cool. I love it. It has like that haunted house vibe. I love a haunted house book. I love a haunted house trope. It's probably up there with like my top 3 favorite tropes ever in books. I love a haunted house theme. But then I just completely forgot about it. I completely forgot about this book. And then I saw it at Barnes & Noble and I was like, oh my god, that book. I need it now. So, excited. Alright, and the last book that I got is A Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, the uncensored version. I have not read A Picture of Dorian Gray before. It's been on my TBR for years and years and years, like ever since I was a child. And I haven't read it. I don't know why. There's just something about it that I haven't picked it up. And I found this uncensored version at Barnes & Noble, and I did a little bit of research in the store there. So apparently the original text had a lot of like homosexual content that the first editor removed from the text because they thought it would be offensive. So this is now the uncensored version that has restored all of that back into the text. I don't know if everything in the uncensored version is written by Oscar Wilde himself and it's been restored that way, or if there's like bits and pieces that were found and were able to be kind of revised. I'm not entirely sure. From what I understand, this is the original text before it was edited and had shit taken out of it. That's what I understand. I'll have to do a little bit more research on that, but regardless, I thought this was pretty cool. So what I want to do is read A Picture of Dorian Gray as it was first published, you know, with everything taken out by the editor, and then read this one and see how they're different and see which one is better. It's probably this one, obviously, but I still think that would be a pretty cool side-by-side analysis to do. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one. Just like Anna Karenina, maybe having this will motivate me to finally read that book. I don't know. We'll see. I just finished filming everything and I realized I have 2 other books that I got that I forgot to share because I already put them on my shelf. So I forgot to show them. I also got the 4th Heartstopper book by Alice Oseman. I mentioned in my April wrap-up that I read the first 3 and I loved them. So I got the 4th one. I'm super excited to read it. I know that she also has like a novel, like an actual like novel with Nick and Charlie in it that I'm kind of interested in picking up, but I don't know if it's the same thing as Heartstopper, just in like a novel form, or if it's like another story. I don't know. So I'll have to look into that more, but yes, excited for this one. And I also got Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi. Now, being somebody who was an avid booktube watcher back in 2012, 2013, 2014, I have always been very well aware of the Shatter Me books, but something about them was just never enticing enough for me to actually pick them up. I don't know what these books are about. I know they're a YA dystopian, but I don't know what the actual plot is. I only know 2 things. There's a character named Juliet and a character named Warner. And that is the only reason I picked this book up. Because Book Talk and Bookstagram and whatever is like obsessed with the Shatter Me books for some reason. The amount of out of context quotes that I see from this series has been enough to entice me to pick up this book series. I saw like one out of context quote that I think the character Warner says, and I was like, that's going on my TBR now. I will say I'm kind of nervous to read these books because I don't want to go into it with the same expectations I did with like Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows. My expectations and hopes for Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows were so high, and I was a little bit disappointed by them because at the end of the day, they're YA fantasies, those books are. And they just didn't do it for me. I think at this point in my life, I've kind of moved a little bit past, like I've moved a little bit on from YA. I do enjoy some YA from time to time, but for the most part, it's kind of hit or miss for me. So I'm worried that this is going to be too YA for me to enjoy as much as I'm hoping to. But I don't know. We'll see. Regardless, I'm excited to start it just to see what all the hype is, because Book Talk likes to hype shit, like I've mentioned already. So yeah, I'm excited for it. A little not sure what to expect from it, but I'm still excited nonetheless. So those are all the books that I got for my birthday. That concludes my book haul. I'm really, really excited about everything that I got. I'm not a reading slump right now. I'm just kind of going through a lot in my life at the moment that is making picking up a book challenging. And the book that I'm currently reading, I've been reading for about 3 weeks now, and it's not long at all, so it's becoming a pain in my ass to pick up the book and read it when all I want to do is kind of just move on and read something else, even though I'm really, really loving the book that I'm reading. So yeah, it's just a struggle, but I'm hoping that having all of my new books that I'm so excited to read in front of me every single day will motivate me to get to them faster and move on from the book that I'm reading. So yeah, that concludes this book haul. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. As always, all of my links to my socials are down in the description box, so feel free to follow me on there. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye!